Monday morning, first day of November morning, TJ McCormick with Sing the Word. And I am so happy to be here this morning because I'm just glad to be alive. I get another day to be with God. And knowing that God has given us everything to live our lives the way He wants us to. He's given us so many things, but this song talks about giving us an example. So when He had washed their feet, taken His garments and sat down again, He said to them, "Do you know what I have done to you?" So when He had washed their feet, taken His garments and sat down again, He said to them, "Do you know what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you say, well, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet." Wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you should do as I have done. For I have given you an example that you should do as I have done to you. As I have done to you. As I have done to you. So when He had washed their feet, taking His garments and sat down again, He said to them, "Do you know what I have done to you?" So when He had washed their feet, taken His garments and sat down again, He said to them, "Do you know what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you say, well, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet." Wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you should do as I have done. For I have given you an example that you should do as I have done to you. As I have done to you. As I have done to you. You know, some words are good, but some words are really good. Sing the Word, TJ McCormick. That's me. And this morning we are talking about John 13:12 through 15. This is an older song that I wrote a while ago. And I come from a ministry. Oops, wrong way. There we go. I came from a ministry that on occasion we would wash feet. We had a foot washing ceremony. And this is truly near and dear to my heart to think about washing feet. And it's interesting that most churches don't practice this. And as you can imagine, it's a little hard to have a foot washing ceremony. And nowadays you got to worry about germs and diseases and but But Jesus said, I have given you example. I have given you an example that you should do as I have done to you. So is this figurative or literal? Should we drop everything and get little bathtubs so we can wash each other's feet? Well, as it turns out, if you're growing up in Century Zero, Israel, Palestine, those areas, there weren't cars. There were animals, and animals do things that are not always wonderful. And the streets were probably filled with doogie, lots of doogie. And if you have a dog, you know about doogie. So the doogie just keeps coming, and you feed the animal, and it just keeps coming. So you're walking through streets, and I get the feeling there was a point where you just said, "The heck with it. I'm here. I'm stepping in stuff, and it's not pretty, but you know what? I gotta get across the street, or I gotta get from one place to another. If there's doogie in the road, and I'm on a road, I might just say whatever. I'm just gonna take a walk." And here we are. We are surrounded by stuff that probably you don't want to step in. And Jesus does something that I guess this was really reserved for servants, because when you came into somebody's house, your feet probably were not pleasant. They were ripe. And here's somebody who kneels on the ground, takes your feet, and dips it into a bucket of water, or however they did it. I'm not too sure how they washed their feet, but he had taken a towel or his clothing from around his waist, and he used that to wash their feet. And wash your feet. What point is that? And most of the scholars that I've read talk about the fact that your feet are pretty dirty, and it's not pleasant to wash feet, especially if it's not you, if it's someone else. And I used to sail, and I'd get sand on my feet, and we just take a hose and squirt it off, and usually that was enough. Sometimes we walk into our house and leave a few sand pebbles, but usually we just do it ourselves. But here is Jesus washing feet. And this probably was one of the lower jobs that servants did. And listen to this middle paragraph there. Let's see, it's this one. You call me teacher and Lord, and you say, well, for so I am. Jesus taught them, and he's acknowledging, hey, I'm a teacher. Now, he switches the syntax, teacher and Lord, not syntax, but the word order. So you call me teacher and Lord. But now if I then your Lord and teacher, and that's emphasizing that, hey, if I did this, not your teacher necessarily, but your Lord, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. How could you not get a bucket out right now and wash somebody's feet and tell them I love you? Well, this is an example. Is it figurative? Does it mean, hey, let's do the dirty jobs for each other? Sure it does. I'm sure it does. Is it literal? Should I become a professional foot washer? No, I don't think so, but it is one of the more solemn ways of expressing your love to God and receiving God's love through another person who would do this for you. And I just hope that you desire to follow God in this way and do the dirty jobs for other people, things that are hard to do, things that are not necessarily above you or at you, but they're below you. Do something that's below you today and watch God bless you. This is TJ McCormick with Sing the Word. Admonish one another with psalms, hymns, spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord. Keyword, sing with grace. See the sing there? Ooh. God bless you, and we will see you tomorrow, Lord willing. Lord willing.